Good everybody, Chris Farhi here from the Bayleys Insights Data team. We've got Ankur Dakwale talking about the biggest news in New Zealand real estate. Now Ankur, we're somewhere a little bit different today, but super cool. Whereabouts are we?
Yeah, so this is a real special place. Now this is the penthouse, so apartment 1301 of 1 Buscomb Avenue in Henderson. Now this is the epitome of penthouse living, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, comes with 2 car parks. 360-degree views over Auckland. So if you want to learn more about this, please get in touch with Barry here or Cherry Kingsley Smith from Bayleys and Northwest.
Yeah, this property's cool. Yeah,
cool property.
Penthouse lifestyle, get right into it, and yeah, some pretty stunning views right around Auckland, so well worth checking out if you're into something like this. So look, we've got a great lineup of content this week. We've got the latest house price forecasts from HSBC Bank, so they've revised their forecasts upwards, which is cool. Some news on some interesting projects around New Zealand, snapshot of recent commercial property sales from our team up at Bayleys and Warkworth and Hibiscus Coast, a little bit of content from our global partner Knight Frank, and of course we've got the property of the week. But first off, Ankur, we've got HSBC Bank revised their house price forecast up. What do we know?
Yeah, so this is quite interesting because in brief what they've said is New Zealand's going to experience the same migration patterns that we're seeing in Australia at the moment that are leading to house prices recovering faster than everyone's expected. And they expect that New Zealand will experience a similar situation as to in Australia in terms of the rental market. The tighter rental market will cause rental prices to go up, and we're kind of starting to see the early signs of that already.
Also interesting as well, because we were just chatting about this last week on this channel, talking about the insights we're getting from Australia around migration surge booming into the rental market, and that pushing more people to purchase. So interesting to see that HSBC Bank is looking at the same in New Zealand. And their house price forecast, Ankur, a little bit, improved from where it was previously.
Yeah, so it's improved now that they're forecasting house prices actually go up in 2024 by circa around 5%.
Yeah, super interesting. And I think they were predicting that house prices in New Zealand would reduce by about 2% over 2023, which I think within that assumes that in the back half of this year we see some price growth. And so next up, Ankur, we've got house building costs are up, but it's slowing down, and that was some data from Quotable Value or QV. So what do we know there?
Yeah, so QV have come out with the latest data on housing construction cost. This has been rapidly rising over the last couple of years, but they're saying that now it's slowing down. So the cost to build a 3-bedroom house is up 9.5% in the 12 months to June. Now, if we break that down even further, so fireproofing is up 16.2%, metal framing up 8.9%, and hardware up about 8.8% as well. Now, the QV reports that the cost of escalation of this cost is slowing down, so it means that we can see a plateauing of these in the future.
Yeah, quite interesting as well, because I guess in the context of the calmer market, personally I was surprised that prices were going up by 9.5% on the construction side, because you do hear these comments around the place that the construction market's getting a bit quieter, building consents going down a little bit. But yeah, obviously that cost escalation is still well and truly cranking in that space. It's pretty interesting. And then jumping into project space, so Tauranga City Council has approved their big development. So what do we know about this, Ankur?
Yeah, so this is a new civic precinct that they're building over there to revitalise the city centre. That's including a new library, community hub, a civic, a whare, a museum, and an exhibition gallery as well.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting, I think. So they've given their final approval to proceed with the project, budget sitting about 300 million. So big project within Tauranga City Centre, and you should add a bit of life there. We've also got a couple of other projects going on down there. I think it's the Craig's Investments office on the waterfront. You've also got the Elizabeth Towers development, super exciting. So actually quite a bit happening down there, and good to see some more life coming into the CBD. And then next up we've got kind of at the other end of New Zealand, big development land transaction in Queenstown. And so what do we know about this, Ankur?
Yeah, this was a massive transaction. This was 163 hectares of a development site at Homestead Bay in Queenstown, and this is sold for $70 million. Now, this land is located between Lake Wakatipu and State Highway 6. This is close to large development areas like Henley's Farm and Jack's Point, which have been absolutely banging over the last couple of years. And so it's sold for $70 million, like I mentioned, to RCL Group, who is a developer of Henley's Farm as well.
Yeah, and so quite interesting. So they've obviously got a good track record in that location, and like Ankur was saying, Henley's Farm has gone very, very well, I think. And so they plan to develop between 1,700 and 2,300 residential sections on the land. And that transaction was actually brokered by Chris Campbell from Bayleys in Queenstown. So yeah, off to a good little start down there, and that's a really exciting project for that part of Queenstown. So next up, moving into our weekly sales snapshot. This snapshot's powered by the team at Bayleys Commercial with a sample of recent commercial property sales around Hibiscus Coast and Warkworth in Auckland. And this is actually inspired by our recently released Hibiscus Coast and Warkworth commercial property market update. So a little bit of a long title on that one, but I'm super excited for that part of Auckland. And so first off, Ankur, we've got one up in Snells Beach.
Yeah, so our first sale that we have is 347 Maharangi East Road in Snells Beach. This is passive medical centre investment, returning about $277,000 per year, and this was sold for $5 million or a 5.5% initial yield. And this was sold by Henry Napier and Chris Blair from Bayleys in Warkworth.
Next up, we've got 51 Florence Avenue in Orewa. And so this was a mortgagee opportunity in Orewa, 209 square metre industrial building on an 809 square metre business mixed use site, marketed by a mortgagee auction, sold for $1.75 million, and now sold by Marie Hansen and Ben Clare from the Bayleys commercial team.
And last up, we have 472 to 502 Whangaparo Road in Stanmore Bay in Auckland. Now, this was prime residential land. It's 13,520 square meters across 19 contiguous properties. It's elevated north-facing sites with sea views, and it was sold for $8.7 million or $643 per square meter, and it was sold by Graham Perigo and Chris Blair from, again, Bayleys and Warkworth.
Yeah, it's a great little selection of sales up there, so if you want to learn more about what's happening up there, definitely get in contact with the team. And so next up, moving offshore, our global partner Knight Frank has released their latest Saudi Arabia residential market update. And so Ankur, what do we know from this?
Yes, this was quite interesting to read about what's going on over there, and it's similar trends to what we're seeing here. So the market volumes over there have decreased by 30% in the first 6 months of 2023 compared to the first 6 months of 2022. And prices have come down by about 28% as well. Increasing interest rates are causing buyers to reassess their financial position, so similar situations to what we're seeing over here. And it's quite interesting over there because apartments are becoming more popular now, mainly due to their affordability and reduced long-term stigma of apartment living over there.
Yeah, and interesting because you could almost copy and paste that and put it over like Auckland or Wellington, maybe over the past sort of 12 or 18 months. And so very similar trends in New Zealand, you know, sales volumes, price movement maybe not quite as extreme, but also that increase in multi-unit housing. So yeah, pretty interesting. And then we're on a little bit of a Middle Eastern sort of theme this week. So we've also got the latest Abu Dhabi office market review. And so Ankur, what do we know from this one?
Yeah, this was also very interesting at the commercial side of things because they're having a steady lack of new supply, and whilst they're having rising occupier demand over there. Certain sub-locations over there are being favoured by occupiers, and in these areas we're seeing rents rise as prime vacancy kind of decreases over there. New supply remains tight with only 109,500 square meters coming online in the next 2 years. And in terms of the investment market over there, it's quite interesting. We've had 220% more sales in the first 6 months of 2023 compared to 2022.
Yeah, quite interesting. So obviously that market's getting a little bit tighter, which is quite cool. And then finally, to wrap up, we've got our property of the week. And so, Ankur, what have you got for us this week?
Yeah, so my property of the week has to be the one we're sitting at the moment. It's apartment 1301 at 1 Buscomb Avenue in Henderson. This is the penthouse apartment, the epitome of penthouse living. 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, 2 car parks, 360-degree views over Auckland, and we can attest it's got some really incredible features as part of this apartment as well.
It's also got a spa pool.
Yeah.
big outdoor terrace, which is super cool.
And if you want to learn more about this, please get in touch with Barry here or Cherry Kingsley Smith from Bayleys in Northwest.
And then for my property of the week, I've got 27 Waimana Place in Wanaka. So this is Wanaka Lakefront, 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms on 3,506 square metre site. Waterfront location in one of the country's most prestigious locations. It's got a 3-bedroom main residence plus an additional 2-bedroom lock up and leave home. If you want to learn more about this one, contact Sharon Donnelly or Scott McGowan from Bayleys in Wanaka. With that said, we'll wrap it up here. So massive thanks to the vendor for this property, Barry He, Cherry Kingsley Smith from Bayleys Northwest for hosting us. Cheers, Ankur.
Thanks, Chris.
And we'll see you next time.
See ya.